everyone, my name is Linda Grant and I've come to Perth's South Inch on a glorious spring day to enjoy the sunshine and to be inspired to write some poetry. I'm not quite wandering lonely as a cloud like William Wordsworth, but I'm sure you can indeed see a host of golden daffodils next to me, and that's all the inspiration I need. So on this beautiful spring day, here's my spring short poem called One Day of Spring. Cold, hard ground breaks. Dappled greens and buds arrive. Portals for rebirth. There you go. Just a few short words, but 3 lines of your favourite words for one of your favourite seasons can indeed sum up a really nice poem. I'm heading back indoors now for a cup of tea, so I'll see you again soon. Hello again. I'm back at home now to share with you some different ways of expressing yourself through writing a short poem. You might be thinking that poetry could never be your thing, but let me assure you that everyone can express themselves in poetic form. Everyone can be a poet, even if they don't know it. And the best thing of all is, it doesn't have to rhyme, which is great, because who could ever find a word that rhymes with the word orange, for goodness sake? So my aim today is to help you release your inner poet. The short poem I spoke earlier in the park is called a haiku. It comes from traditional Japanese poetry and is often used to describe the seasons. Let me remind you of my spring poem again. Cold, hardened ground breaks, dappled greens and buds arrive, portals for rebirth. Do you notice how short it is? And how also the first and third lines are particularly short. They've only got 5 syllables, whilst the second line is slightly longer with 7 syllables. So that's just 17 syllables in total. It works on the idea that less is more, that a picture can tell 1,000 words, and haikus certainly do this. The other feature of a haiku is that it often contains 2 different images in one poem, with the third line offering a contrast or a conclusion to the other 2 lines. That's why my third line summed spring up in the phrase portals for rebirth, and it gets you thinking. So now I'm going to invite you to write one too. In order to do this, you might like to have a notepad and pen. I'm going to suggest that you work with some of the words and phrases in the seasonal word sheets from our website. We've got spring words, summer words, autumn words, and winter words. All I did was make a note of some of the words that came to mind when I thought of the different seasons. You can use these or work with your own words. There's also a template to help you if you need it. It has a couple of my poems on the right hand side to remind you of the shape and form of the poem, and it also has a title line and then 3 lines for you to get cracking with your words. Okay? So now I'm going to invite you to pick your favourite season. Why is it your favourite season? Your answer will give you some words you can use so make a note of these. Feel free to pause the film here to suit. You can also use our word suggestions to prompt your own. So, for example, if your favourite season is summer, we've got words and phrases such as swaying grasses, blue skies, children's chatter, soft breezes, sunshine, sun's rays, beautiful blooms, and gardens ablaze. You could make a haiku out of some of these phrases, but it's going to be even better to use your own. Your answers to why you love your favourite season will take you on to a deeper level if you ask how your favourite season makes you feel. For spring, I feel it gives me hope and joy and the promise of things to come. So that takes the poem onto a more emotional level, and you can work with that. But take your time and feel free to pause the film at any time. Next, I want you to create your first line of 5 syllables from the words that you have chosen. Okay? Take your time here. There is no such thing as right or wrong, and feel free to pause the film at any time to suit. For the second line of your poem, I would like you to build on the image contained in your first line. So the second line tells you more about your favourite season. Try to create a slightly longer line, 7 syllables if you can, but you don't have to be exact. So in my poem, on One Day of Winter, it started with snowdrops emerging. And then I built on the image of the snowdrop by saying, pure, white, delicate glory. Okay, so you need a longer second line. Pause the film to suit, and then we're going to finish your poem. The concluding line is going to again be quite short, with 5 syllables. Play with your words until you're happy with it. And remember, it's quite nice to conclude the poem or contrast. So if I come back to my winter poem, then I've summed up my snowdrops and their white, delicate glory by saying strength in purity. And strength in purity as a phrase does apply to snowdrops, but it applies to lots of other things as well. So it's a pause for thought. All right? Take your time with it, but play with your words. I didn't find my 3 lines straight away. I had to play with the words and move them around. And it's absolutely fine to do that. You'll know when you're happy with it, it'll be right for you, and that's all that matters. Well done for having a go. You don't have to write about the seasons. You can write about anything that's meaningful to you. I personally am never happier than when I am in the Highlands, so I have written another poem for you about the Highlands. Mountains surround me, landscapes of light and thunder, fastening me back home. Please take a break and join me in a few minutes for 2 more easy ways to release your inner poet. Welcome back. For this activity, I'm going to invite you to think about your favourite things in general, including your favourite season. We have a rainbow template for this activity if you wish to use this. So I have called this activity Rainbow Recollections. My rainbow has 7 arches, so I'm going to invite you to think about 7 favourite things and write them in each of the arches. I would suggest you probably start here, but it's entirely up to you. So my first question is, what's your favourite colour? Secondly, what's your favourite season? And then thirdly, your favourite place. Followed by fourthly, your favourite sound or music. Fifth, your favourite smell. And sixth, your favourite animal. The seventh favourite thing is going to be your favourite person or people. These are all written here on the template, so don't worry about remembering everything, and obviously feel free to pause this film at any time. Once you have chosen your favourite things, I'd like to invite you to write 2 or 3 words that indicate why this is your favourite thing. What other words come to mind? It's a little bit like the favourite season activity we did for the haiku, but we're extending it this time to other favourites. Okay, so just let me give you an example. For my favourite season, I've written the spring, and spring brings to mind for me spring breezes, bird song, fresh flowers, blossom, and nature's burgeoning landscapes. And that gives me lots of words to play with. So what I've then done, and it's really quite simple, is I've put the words I am at the bottom of this page, or put them on a fresh piece of paper, and just pick some of the words you've got in your rainbow arches. You can use some of them, you don't have to use all of them. You might want to alter some of them a little bit, because one of my favourite things is a Highland coo, but I couldn't quite see that I am a Highland coo quite works. But I love the idea of loving an image of a Highland coo, especially in a Scottish landscape. So even when you put I am in front of it, you've immediately got an imaginative piece of writing. So you are a poet, even though you don't know it. Our final activity we're going to do in a minute is called Awesome Acrostics. Don't be put off by the word acrostic. In an acrostic poem, you choose a word as the theme of your poem. So the words matter here. I've played with words like family, rainbow, hope, or you can use your first name, and you just write it vertically on a sheet of paper. Then the letters of your chosen word or theme become the first letter of each line. I've chosen the word hope. So next to each letter, I have placed a word or a phrase. So my H is happy times, my O is opportunities ahead, my P is possibilities, and my E is emerging. So my little acrostic poem becomes happy times, opportunities shared, possibilities emerging. Or you can use your name. You'll be aware by now that my name is Linda. So I've used the words as follows. L, likeable, I hope. I, intelligent, sometimes. N, naughty, I'd like to think so. D, determined, and A, affable. Or another way of doing it is to use a word and then insert letter is for something. So I've used the word rainbow. So I've put R is for a ray of sunlight after rain. A is for the awesome magic it contains. I is for the idea of hope. N is for enjoying it now. B is for the bow of its arc. O is for the orange glow against the sky. And W is for the wish of the pot of gold. There we go. I've got hope, I've got my name, I've got a rainbow, and I've got 3 acrostic poems. So I hope you've enjoyed this activity and that you not only can do this type of thing now, but that you can carry on doing it into the future, because then you will have found your inner poet. Bye for now.